Kyle Lowry is one of the biggest targets available in free agency in this upcoming offseason. In an offseason where there's somewhat of a lack of ceiling-raising talent, Lowry is one of the few players available that could potentially take a team from pretender to contender. There have been a lot of teams linked to Kyle Lowry, with plenty hoping to make a push at the 6-time All-Star and NBA champion. In this video, I want to take a look at what Lowry offers a team that's looking to contend, which teams have been linked to him, and where I think he would fit the best and bring the most to the table. Now, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, my name is Alex. I'm posting NBA content all the time, covering everything going on in the NBA. We're about to hit 1,000 subscribers. Let's try to get 20 subscribers on this video and aim for 20 likes. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. Let's get right into it. Despite the Toronto Raptors' disappointing season this year, finishing 12th in the Eastern Conference at 27 wins and 45 losses, Kyle Lowry proved that he still has a lot to offer a team. So much so that there was a bidding war prior to the trade deadline between several teams that were trying to acquire him. The 76ers, the Miami Heat, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Los Angeles Clippers were all trying to make major pushes in an attempt to bring him onto their rosters. It ultimately fell through, but he was easily one of the most desired candidates for a trade prior to the deadline. But why did teams want Kyle Lowry so badly? The answer is pretty simple. Who wouldn't want a point guard that's averaging 17 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and a steal per game while shooting almost 40% from 3 on 7 attempts per game? Lowry is also fantastic at not turning the ball over. He only notched 2.7 turnovers per game this season. So obviously teams would want to add a player like that. His resume speaks for itself, and even though he's on the wrong half of 30, he still has plenty to offer. Now, as I said, the 76ers, Heat, Lakers, and Clippers all made major pushes for him. But who's planning to make a push at him now? To answer that question, we need to know what kind of contract Kyle Lowry is expecting to receive in free agency. So how much money will a player like Kyle Lowry hail in free agency? That's where things get a little bit tricky because of his age. He'll likely want a longer-term contract from whichever team he signs with. He's making $33 million a year right now, which is a lot of money for an aging 35-year-old undersized point guard. Reports from The Athletic show that Lowry is likely looking for a deal in the 2-year, $50 million range, so about $25 million a year. That's honestly a fair offer for 2 years of an aging point guard, just to see how much he has left in the tank. So with that in mind, who's looking to make a push at him? One team that's interested is the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, this makes a lot of sense as reports have recently surfaced regarding the New Orleans Pelicans' desire to bring in a veteran that can have an immediate impact on the team. It also replaces Lonzo Ball, who it sounds like they don't really plan on re-signing or matching any offers for in the offseason. The 76ers are also looking to land Kyle Lowry. This makes sense as it seems their front office is leaning towards trading Ben Simmons, although that's not confirmed just yet. They are listening to offers, but we'll see how that situation ends up. Lowry replaces the loss of Simmons at the point and allows the 76ers to get creative in bringing in new talent at the forward position. Now, the interesting thing with this deal is that it would likely have to be done through a sign and trade for it to make sense for both sides. The 76ers don't have the salary space right now to sign Lowry outright, and this lets the Raptors trade Lowry away instead of losing him for nothing. This next team will come as no surprise, but the Miami Heat have been linked to Kyle Lowry. I know the Heat get linked to literally every player that there's rumors about, but it's still worth talking about. He would help them at the point, giving them a more reliable point guard than Goran Dragic, who's not aging nearly as gracefully as Lowry is, and he bolsters their shooting. In all honesty, I'm not sure how much value there is in these reports because the Heat say that they're interested in essentially every single player that's a free agent. So take it with a grain of salt and do with that information as you will. The next team that would have to do a sign and trade deal for Lowry is the Clippers. The Clippers flirted with the finals this year, but were unfortunately eliminated due in large part to Kawhi Leonard's partial ACL tear. Earlier on in the season, I considered a Kyle Lowry trade to be the best option for the Clippers. Now, with Kawhi likely being out for the entirety of next season, I'm not sure how much sense Kyle Lowry makes. they'd be putting a lot of money into one basket, and that basket isn't getting any younger. And last on this list, but certainly not least, is the Los Angeles Lakers. It seems they have their eyes set on either Kyle Lowry or Lonzo Ball, but it's unclear how Lonzo would feel about the prospect of returning to the Lakers after the whole Anthony Davis ordeal. Lonzo Ball seems like a true professional, so there's no doubt he'd handle it with grace, but I would imagine if he had the opportunity to go elsewhere, he probably would. So that makes Lowry the next best option for the Lakers. This makes sense because they need someone to handle the playmaking load when LeBron isn't on the court. He can also spark your offense and still get a bucket when he needs to, while offering the shooting and spacing that LeBron needs around him. So with all of that being said, what's the best spot for Kyle Lowry as he heads into the later years of his career? What spot maximizes his chances of winning another ring before calling it quits? Right now, in my opinion, the 76ers make the most sense. You're giving Embiid another floor spacer and someone that he can run the pick and roll with. While Lowry isn't the defender that Ben Simmons is, the 76ers more than make up for it with the other defenders that they have on their squad. It would be a difficult trade to work out, but if the 76ers can land him, Lowry fixes a lot of their issues that they had in the second round against the Hawks. Now, for a bit of a long shot, I legitimately think that the Pelicans would be infinitely better with a player like Lowry. As much as I like Lonzo, Lowry is more of an offensive threat at this current moment, and he offers a lot of the same things that Lonzo does. The Lowry and Zion pick and roll would be a deadly threat, and Lowry has shown that he has the ability to play off ball when Zion is running the point guard position. While they won't be a championship team overnight, they can definitely make some strategic moves to bolster the roster while Lowry still has some left in the tank. In 2 or 3 years, the Pelicans could legitimately be fighting for home court advantage in the Western Conference. So where do you think Lowry is going to end up? Where would you like to see him? Be sure to leave a comment below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Let's aim for 20 subscribers on this video and 20 likes, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.